Hello there, this is Editing Captain speaking. This video contains major spoilers for the events of OneShot, both the base game and the secret Solstice route. If you haven't played one or both of those, I'd highly recommend clicking off the video right now and going to play them before coming back, because all you're going to achieve by staying here is spoiling a beautiful story for yourself. You have been warned. Now, on to the video. Hello, my lovely viewers. Welcome back to OneShot. Actually, this is not, in fact, OneShot. This is the anniversary game called the Pancake episode. So those of you who didn't see a certain recent post of mine may be wondering, Captain, why haven't you uploaded any OneShot since episode 3 2 entire fucking months ago? And well, dear viewer, that is because I finished the game. You see, somewhere between 2 months ago when I uploaded episode 3 and me being in the middle of the Helldivers video a week or 2 weeks ago, I just said, fuck it, I can't wait to play this game anymore, and I just played it without recording it. I do not, in fact, regret that decision, because I experienced the game for what it is, and not for any camera or content. But I will give you a quick recap of what happened, okay? So, when I finally got back on, about a week ago, I woke up, went down the elevator, met a bunch of people, did a whole bunch of stuff, and finally got into the tower. And apparently that thing on the computers that was helping me in the other episodes is something called the Entity, and it's a bit of an asshole. So once we got inside the tower, it made me unable to talk to Niko and tried to trap her in a dream. But this guy called the Author, who was a whole nother guy that made the world or something, stepped in and helped me rescue her and get the sun back. And it was at that point though that I came upon the the choice. You see, Niko's mission this whole time has been to return the sun and save the world. And my mission has been to protect Niko and guide her to completing her mission. Thing is, you can't really do both. See, whatever is wrong with the world, whatever the hell was going on that I didn't know at that point, you can't do both. You can't have a de facto happy ending. You have to either return the sun and trap Niko in the world forever. And by the way, her fate is completely ambiguous, so I'm not really a huge fan of that decision. Like, she could somehow get back down from the tower and just live happily with all the residents of the world, or she could starve to death up there. Like, I'm not taking that chance. So I went with the other option, returning Niko home by shattering the sun and ending the world. It's a terrible choice, and neither option is, better than the other. It's entirely subjective and up to people's opinions. But I will say I do not regret my decision. I only regret that I couldn't save them both. But that is luckily where the Solstice ending comes in, which I played the day after. Oh my fucking god, Solstice is so good. It's this frantic scramble, a mad dash against all odds, trying to save the world for real this time. No more picking and choosing who to save. We're gonna make a good ending for ourselves, whether the world wants us to or not. I'm not gonna say everything I loved about it. I try to summarize the whole thing, because I'd either be spoiling it for you or boring you. But I loved Solstice, and I had the post-Solstice depression that has been dubbed by the community pretty bad for a few days. And anyways, oh yeah, we're here to play a game, right? Let's play the game. Hi everyone. As you know, it's the 10-year anniversary of OneShot. Well, the original version anyways. So I thought I'd decorate the cafe. We opened extra early today, so nobody's shown up yet. There she is. There's Niko OneShot. Oh, I love her. It's the cutest little goober you could ever imagine. Except me. Okay, that's enough. What? Oh hey, we're back in the cafe. I'm here on a very special mission today. Can you guess what it is? Does it involve a celebration cake? Of the pan variety. How'd you know? You, literally told me a minute ago before the camera turned on. Wait, the camera? Does God, do I operate through cameras now? Are they recording this for an audience? What's going on here? Oh, right. Today, I'll be showing everyone how to make Mama's special pancakes. And I'll be... Wait, that's a he? Okay. And he'll be helping me. Because he's a grown-up, and I'm not old enough to use the stove without adult supervision. Of course you aren't, Niko. But didn't you, like, set things on fire before? I think God counts as adult supervision. Yeah, that's probably fair. Alright then, follow me to the kitchen. Okay. Yo. The memories. It's only been a fucking week in the memories. I recognize this song. What's it called? You know, I should know what the name of this song is, given that I did just make an entire, like, how it feels to listen to OneShot OST thing, but, I feel like this is one of the library songs. Okay, yeah, it's a library stroll from the original game. I know I recognize that from somewhere. Okay, new area. And this is the kitchen. I cleaned it up pretty good. You'd never know we had a fire last week. You had a what? Another one? Right. What's, surprisingly flammable? Fridge. That's a fridge. Yes, we know. Pantry. It doesn't actually have pans in it. I'm not allowed to use the stove by myself, given that you are a child. My co-workers aren't here because they're still getting repaired for the fire damage, so we won't have extra help today. Do you think you can handle it? Of course. I help Mama out in the kitchen all the time. Especially when making pancakes. I even wrote down the recipe. Oh, this is Niko's theme, yes. I never heard this in the original game. I guess this is where it plays. Whoa, so many pages. And surprisingly legible for crayon. Like I said, these pancakes are very special, so I wrote a lot. It takes Mama a long time to make, start to finish. She even makes the syrup herself. Wow. Sounds like a lot of work. Sometimes in life, you gotta work hard. You gotta work hard for those pancakes, man. Oh. It says here we would need cups of things. What are cups? Do you guys not have cups as a measurement in this world? Measuring cups? You have to measure cups? Not sure if I get it. Don't you cook for your job? How do you cook without measuring cups? Or measuring spoons? How do you know how much flour to use? I, weigh it? Oh yeah. I hear the people in the city do that. Sounds like a hassle. They'd have to use a scale every time they cook. Well, we do live in a city. No, not your city. My city. I thought you lived in a village, Niko. The cities we have back home. Right. Using a scale all the time sounds hard. It'd be much easier if we had measuring cups and spoons. I still don't know what those are, though. Like, amount-wise. Maybe we need to get some help. Hold on. What is Prototype doing here? Oh, man. Where did you pull him out of? Where'd he come from? Oh, you brought a friend. Yep, and he's willing to help us. Willing isn't exactly the right word here. Where did he come from? This better be good. Of course. I wouldn't call you if it wasn't an emergency. dire, sticky, sugary, delicious emergency.
You want me to do gram conversions, don't you?
Maybe?
So much for this not being a pain in the... Excuse me. Assuming that you do not need perfect conversions, I should be able to help. This world is only calibrated to the metric system, and my database on other units only has a limited sample size that does not account for various contingencies. So it might not be exactly...
How much does a cup of flour weigh?
120 grams, roughly.
Whoa, you answered so fast.
A simple query like that does not take long to...
How much does 3 cups of water weigh?
720 grams.
How about half a cup of beans?
Depends on the bean.
Pinto.
70 grams. And why do you even need beans to make pancakes?
How about 100 cups of ice cream? Vanilla.
21,400 grams or 21.4 kilograms. Are you having fun?
Is a kilogram of steel heavier than a kilogram of feathers?
Do not test my patience.
Okay, Proto.
Reduced to a calculator. What is my purpose?
You measure cups.
Oh my god.
Now the Proto's here to help us. We can continue. Oh, this is the elevator music. I'm entirely serious right here and right now. You could like play any song for me from the OneShot OST, and I'd probably recognize it. For those of you following along, you would need a gram scale. But if you have measuring cups and spoons like I do at home, you could use those instead. It would probably be a lot easier. Next up is ingredients. Since this recipe is so long, we should probably split it into 3 pots. It kinda is 3 recipes in one. That's what Mama does. You have to do it in a specific order for the best results. Okay, I'll go get everything ready. Quite the list we have here. Also, am I here? Me as the player, me as captain, me as god. Am I here? Like, do I get to talk to Niko? Or am I just the camera for the audience? Like, what's the deal with that? I want to talk to Niko again, man. And speaking of Niko, you know, she's actually the one that like influenced my entire final decision for the world at the end of the original game. Like, going into this game, this experience, I knew more about Niko than, well, pretty much I only knew about Niko. Like, before I ever opened the game, I was unreasonably attached to this little, like, cat person, child, whatever she is. So that heavily influenced my decision to destroy the world and send her home. But I didn't actually even get the proper shock of that decision because a series called Indie Cross, where basically this guy called Moro, this YouTuber called Moro, I think that's how you pronounce their name. Basically, they're making this whole animated series that is extremely, extremely good. And it's with all these characters from indie games and this whole like original plot they made and all these cool things like that. But the thing is, the start of episode 2, I got flashbanged by like end of story one-shot spoilers. The choice that the entire game, like the emotional climax of the last 4 hours of gameplay, just flashbanged by a spoiler. So unfortunately, I did not get to experience that surprise for myself. I didn't know everything, of course. I never saw, like, you know, the exact screen. I didn't look up the endings of the game. I didn't know exactly what it was. I just knew that if you wanted to send Niko home, you had to break the sun. And so, like, one of my things, like, as I was playing the game, was like, what if you tell Niko to break the sun, to send her home, but she does her own thing, refuses, and puts the sun back? Like, this whole, the whole game, like, it separates you and Niko. Like, Niko was your own person. Like, you know, you tell her to stick the sun into a industrial crushers, he says, "I'm not gonna do that, you fucking idiot." So I was like, what if you tell her to shatter the sun at the end, and she says, "No, I can't do that. I can't just kill all these people," and she just puts the sun back, and that's that. You never had a real choice, but so it would still be a very emotional moment, no doubt about that. So, like, it was still emotional. I did still hesitate on that screen for like 2 minutes, rationalizing to myself destroying the world to save a child, which I, again, do not fucking regret. Oh yeah, we're here to make pancakes. I should probably get going with that. This thing is grabbing my attention. These are hazelnuts. Mama always starts with this step, where she turns hazelnuts into hazelnut candy. You sprinkle them on top of the pancakes later. She also says this recipe is pretty dangerous for a kid. How dangerous can making pancakes be, Niko? So I normally only help with the first steps. First, I cut a piece of parchment paper with scissors and put it on the baking pan, or anything that's heat-proof. Then, you need to get a knife and cutting board. I'm not old enough to use knives of my own either, so you'll have to do this part on your own. Okay. Take about half a cup of hazelnuts,
65 grams.
and cut them up like this. Then you pick out all these big pieces. You don't want the crumbs, because they'll burn. You can save the crumbs and just mix it with the hazelnut flour, though. Smart. Now, you need a frying pan. But not for pancakes. Toast the hazelnut pieces on the pan on low or medium heat for 5 minutes, till they turn brown and smell nice. Careful though, you don't want it to burn. They won't burn if I'm stirring them the whole time. Oh, I think it's just about done. That was a very fast 5 minutes, don't you think? Whoa, that's fast. But it's only been 3 minutes. That's what I'm saying, Niko. Hasn't even been 3 minutes. All stoves and pans are a little different, so they'll heat up at different speeds. Okay, then you turn off the heat and dump out all the hazelnuts onto a plate or a bowl. Or just the counter if it's clean. Then, you wipe down the pan really good with a damp towel to get rid of all the burnt bits. You can put the pan back on the warm stove to evaporate off the water. You'll need the pan dry for the next step. Now, the skin should be loose on the hazelnut pieces, so you can rub the pieces between your hands to get all the skin off. Are they cool enough to touch yet? Yeah? Ooh, let me do it. Mom always lets me do this part. I like to use my sleeves. Are your sleeves clean, Niko? Wait, but Mom isn't around to wash my coat afterwards. That does make me wonder. What's the level of canon on this episode like? Is this just, a one-shot, a one-off, you could say? Where it's just, fun? Like, it's non-canon, they just made it for the bit? Or is this, like, I don't even know. Like, is she actually here? I don't know. I'll stop questioning it and get back to the game. If you use your bare hands, it'll probably take longer. Why not just use a towel? Smart. But not all the skin will come off, and that's okay. Then put the hazelnut pieces back into the pan. Just like last time, don't put in any crumbs. I'll just throw the crumbs away this time, since it's mostly skin and burnt bits anyways. Then you add a 1/4 cup of sugar to the pan.
50 grams.
Now turn the pan on medium heat to melt the sugar while stirring the pan. Mama says melted sugar is super hot, so it can really hurt if you touch it. I'll stay over here. I can't believe something as tasty as sugar can be so dangerous. The sugar should start to melt at around 5 minutes. It might be a little different for this stove though. Once it melts, stir it even more. You want to melt all the sugar and coat all the hazelnut pieces with it. Mama usually keeps it on the stove for another 3 minutes or so for all the sugar to melt. Okay, I'll keep stirring. Be careful, okay? I'll be fine. Oh. Did you burn yourself? No. Just surprised it melted as fast as it did. Don't scare me like that. I think it's done though. Take it off the heat. Hurry. And you just dump everything out again, this time onto the parchment paper. I'll pour it in a thin layer, since I assume we don't want big clusters that'll be tough to break up later. They'll stick together at least a little bit. And again, it's really hot, so definitely don't touch it. But once it's cool, you can chop them up on a cutting board. Don't try to break them up with your hands, though. Sugar can be as sharp as glass. I'm sorry, aren't we going to be eating it later? Another cruel betrayal by the world's most delicious substance. I can't believe sugar would do this to me. Okay, it's all chopped up now. Do you have a jar or airtight container? That'll keep them crunchy while we make the other things. Otherwise, the sugar will get sticky after a while. Say, why is that?
Why are you looking in my direction?
Because you're the smartest guy here. Okay, I don't recognize this song. I don't think this is in the OneShot OST that I looked at.
Because sugar has hygroscopic properties, meaning it attracts water molecules in the air. The water molecules would then disrupt the crystal structure of the hardened sugar you just made. You heated the sugar up to about 150 degrees Celsius, also referred to as the hard crack stage. In this state, the sugar is hard and brittle.
And crunchy.
But as the hardened sugar continues to pull moisture from the air and thus disrupting its crystal structure, it will lose its brittleness. Water is able to do this because it is a polar molecule, which means that it has two differently charged regions. The oxygen atom holds a partially negative charge, while the two hydrogen atoms hold a partially positive charge. This polarity gives water the ability to attract other polar molecules. And not only that, the pair of hydrogen bonds in the water molecule also...
This goes on for their 5 minutes. Whoa. I'm learning words. Never change, Niko. Oh, I love you. I'll just go put these in a jar with some silica gel packets.
Silica gel, a form of silicon dioxide, is extremely porous with a large surface area that facilitates moisture absorption and retention. It has the ability to absorb 40% of its own weight in water and is used as a commercial desiccant. In our case, it would absorb all the moisture in a small enclosed space, the sealed jar.
Good to know. Well, he really is the smartest guy in the room. Anyways, I've got to get some water. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Some good fucking water. Public health announcement, guys. Okay, drinking water is basically the single best thing you can do for yourself. Just drink more water. We're making the syrup next. Oh, syrup is super simple to make. Well, I think it's scary. What? How is syrup scary? Because we're melting sugar again. I'll stay over here. Away from the stove. You can help me cut the butter at least. We'll need 2 tablespoons of it.
30 grams.
Cut into smaller pieces with a butter knife. Butter knife is safe for little old me. On my side, we'll need a cup of brown sugar.
208 grams.
Which goes in the saucepan along with half a cup of water.
120 grams.
Mix together with a small whisk, then heat over medium-high heat while constantly stirring. Oh, don't forget to add the maple syrup. 2 tablespoons, right?
40 grams.
Say, why do we have to cook this syrup to melt it? The maple syrup always stays a liquid.
You're looking at me again.
That little face. Oh boy, another one of these sections.
Maple syrup contains invert sugars, which are structurally different from table sugar. Invert sugars have better moisture retention properties and do not readily crystallize. It is difficult to add invert sugar to syrups made with regular sugar in order to prevent the mixture from recrystallizing, which would lead to a grainy texture.
I normally just use honey or corn sugar for that. They don't taste as good.
I would know the difference regardless.
Alright, you can't eat. Once the syrup boils, switch the heat down to a medium-low and simmer for about 2 minutes while stirring. Niko, can you pass me the butter? I cut it into little tiny cubes, like Mama does. Is that okay? Nice. It can be any shape you want. The pieces just need to be small enough to melt quickly once added to the syrup. Stirring it helps it melt faster. Correct. Then, we just take it off the heat and leave it in the pan to cool down to eating temperature. Careful not to touch it though. Okay, that wasn't too bad. What does Prototype have to say about this?
Frankly, I don't understand why anybody would not use the metric system.
Look, as an American, I must take offense at your comment there, Proto, as I only use Big Mac's 2 flags planted on the moon as my official measurement system. It seems hard. Like something you do in a lab, not a kitchen. Well, it is actually the international measurement system used for science, so I guess that's fine. A kitchen is kind of like a lab if you think about it. Jesse, we need to cook. Niko, we need to cook. Cooking is basically chemistry in its own way. Chemistry, you say? Okay, well, let's see what this is. Now we're finally ready to make the pancake batter. The main event. Yep, it's a 3 mixing bowl recipe. 1 bowl for dry ingredients, 1 bowl for wet ingredients, and 1 bowl just for the egg white. That's how you really know it's special, or because of all the dishes you have to clean afterwards. It's not a labor of love without the labor, as Mom always said. Looks like we'll also need a sifter and a whisk. More things to clean later. And a pan. Don't forget the pan. Because otherwise it would just be cake. Actually, it would just be raw. You don't need to use the stove until the end. So I can help out way more this time. Back to the elevator music. First bowl was the egg white bowl. It needs to be super clean. No oil or it'll ruin everything. I'd like to wipe down the bowl with some lemon juice, just to be sure. Then you take an egg and take out the yolk to separate the egg white. You can't mix any of the egg yolk into the egg white because egg yolks have oil in it. Say.
Because egg white is a pure protein, protein molecules tend to link to each other when partially denatured through a mechanical force such as whisking. The whisking process would also introduce a lot of air to the mixture, causing the protein mesh to become a foam. Oil molecules would disrupt that mesh structure, causing the foam to collapse. That was what you're going to ask.
How'd you know? Oh right, back to the eggs. I like to suck out the egg yolk with a water bottle. Does that work? I don't know. I've never tried to separate the yolk from an egg white before. But sometimes that can break the egg yolks. I can also take it out with my hands. Then my hands would get all slimy. Ew. Oh, I just use a separator. Oh, that's handy. It's handy, because then you don't need to use... That's the opposite of handy, bro. That is the opposite of handy. What the fuck are you talking about? It's handy because you would need to use your... Is that how that works? I'm gonna look this up. Okay, I think I'm right and you're wrong. I mean, it's handy in that it makes things easier and it's convenient. But, you know what? Fuck it. Forget it. It's handy because then you don't need to use your hands. Okay, now I put the yolk in a second bowl, the green one. We can leave the egg white alone for now. I hope it doesn't get lonely. It won't, because it's just an egg. Half an egg. Second bowl. This one's got the egg white. Alright, then we take the bowl with the egg yolk and mix it with half a cup of buttermilk, which is very tasty. Niko, don't drink the buttermilk. We need that for the pancakes, Niko. Don't drink it.
112 grams.
You want 3 tablespoons of regular milk to go in that too.
45 grams.
Mix it all together and leave that alone too. You can put it next to the first bowl so it doesn't get lonely. It won't get lonely. It's just milk. That's the beauty of milk. As opposed to tea, which of course gets lonely. Okay, now we want to take the sifter and put in half a cup of flour.
60 grams.
Oh, but then I gotta take a tablespoon of flour out.
8 grams. Leaving you with 52 grams of flour.
Right. Then add a tablespoon of cornstarch.
Also 8 grams.
Then after that, add 2 tablespoons of hazelnut flour. The best part.
14 grams.
Then 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. The other best part.
26 grams.
Then 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which does not taste great on its own. How do you know that, Niko?
5 grams.
Then finally, a pinch of salt.
Less than 1 gram.
Don't add too much, or the pancakes will be salty. Might still taste good though. Don't even joke like that. I will fucking end you. I wasn't joking. There are salty pancakes out there too, you know. I like to make mine with shredded vegetables such as... I will pretend not to hear you while I sift all of this flour. Otherwise, I cannot control what I might do next. Oh, the bigger pieces of hazelnut and some of the brown sugar might not go through the sifter. That's okay though. Just add it into the flour mix after everything else sifted through. Then you mix it by hand one last time before adding it to the buttermilk mixture. Back over to the number 2 bowl. You want to pour in the flour mixture slowly, then mix it with a spatula real gentle. Ah, that's why it's called folding, where you mix the dry and the wet ingredients together in a sort of cutting motion with a spatula. If you overmix, the pancakes will get tough. Though I don't know... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because it develops a gluten in the flour. Gluten is a mixture of proteins found in wheat flour, which is created when flour is mixed with water and further developed into an elastic network of elastic polymers.
Thanks. Gluten is great for making bread. What kind of fucking accent? Like I've gone through Australian, I've gone through British, now I just went Southern. What the fuck am I giving this guy so many different voices for? But not so great if you want to make something softer like pancakes. Some people are also really allergic to gluten, so I gotta clean the kitchen really well for customers with allergies. Public service announcement. Allergies exist. Oh, I feel bad for them because they can't have these pancakes. Maybe they can use gluten-free flour? It might not be the exact same, but maybe. Okay, now we leave the batter alone for about 20 minutes.
This gives the baking powder time to activate and will also hydrate the flour.
Rest well, batter. You've served your part. We only need to wait a few more minutes for the batter to be ready. We should work on the egg whites now. Okay, this part is really hard. You gotta take your whisk and whisk the egg whites a lot until it all turns white. It takes Mama forever to do this part. An electric whisk will make this a lot easier. That's a thing? Yeah. What is this sorcery? Electricity. Wonder of the modern world. That's handy. That's why it's called a hand mixer, but you don't use your hands. Shut the fuck up. That's not actually why it's called that. Thank you for acknowledging your mistakes. I mean, between that and the first handy comment, and the whole thing about salty pancakes, I'm about to execute you for fucking heresy. A couple of drops of lemon juice in the egg whites will also help. Oh, right. Mama does that too. I always wondered why that is. Oh boy. I can already tell what's coming.
Because acid helps stabilize the protein foam. A slightly lower pH would keep the denatured proteins relatively loose, preventing them from folding back up. This allows the protein to be able to incorporate more air bubbles, creating a more stable foam. Traditionally, the acid most used for meringue is a cream of tartar.
Oh, I love tartar sauce. It's great in potato salad. Oh, we normally just use it for seafood. Especially fish. I like fish. Bro is not beating the cat allegations. And before you... Okay, before you say, cats like fish, I can assure you that is a coincidence. But maybe that's why they named a famous cat after tartar sauce? Huh? I don't know what pop culture reference you're making.
Tartar sauce is something completely unrelated. The name tartar in cream of tartar comes from potassium bitartrate, a potassium salt of tartaric acid, which...
Potassium is a funny word. It has a bad word in the middle. I don't think I'm allowed to say that. Niko. Oh shoot, you're right. We can't say potassium. Potassium. Pronounced potium. Potium. Haha, that sounds like potty.
Let's stop talking about potassium for now.
Okay.
Shut up.
Potty. The eggs at a soft bake right now. Do I keep going? Mama usually whisks it until you can turn the bowl upside down. Without anything falling out, of course. Guess that would just make a huge mess. Stiff bakes it is then. Half a minute of electric mixer sounds later. And it's ready now. So fast. Such is the power of technology. Okay, now we put the foam in the batter and do the fold mixing thing again. But we have to pour the egg foam into the batter, not the other way around. Otherwise, it might mess up its conscience. What? Consistency? I knew that. No, you didn't. Oh, and you have to use this batter right away, or it'll go flat over time. Okay, I'll go heat up the stove then. What does Prototype think of all this? Oh, he's just saying the same thing about the metric system. And cooking, and meth, and Breaking Bad. Okay, anyways. I don't really know the other steps, because it's on a stove. Okay, I'll take over then. Oh, right, we don't have the regular griddle right now. It was damaged in the fire. I'll just have to make these in the pan. That's what Mama does. She uses a really heavy black pan for these. I think it's called a cat's iron pan? A cast iron pan. That's the one. Silly me. Silly little cat. We are not cats. Oh, and she adds a ton of butter to it. We only have the stainless steel pans right now, so butter would definitely help it not stick to the pan. Though that might not make very smooth looking pancakes. Butter tends to make it look a bit more bubbly. But it'll taste great. I'd eat a stick of butter by itself if I could. Niko, don't eat that. Don't eat entire sticks of butter. That's very bad for you. Well, we probably won't need that much butter for this batch. Okay, here we go. Since I usually make pancakes on a big non-stick griddle, I might be a little rusty doing it the old-fashioned way. Unlike this pan, which doesn't rust because it's made of steel. I'll start heating up the pan on medium heat with some butter.
About 4 or 5 out of 9 on a standard stove.
Give it maybe a couple of minutes, and then add a drop of water to the pan. If it sizzles, that means the pan is hot enough. Scary. Then you lower the heat down a notch to around 3, and how much butter does your mom usually use? Let's see. About 1/3 of a cup?
Conversion data for pancake batter not found in database.
Enough batter to make a pancake about 4 inches across. So we'll end up with 5 or 6 pancakes. You can make them bigger, but they'll be harder to flip. Okay, first pancake down. Let's wait about 5 minutes for that to cook. Then you can slide a spatula down under it. If it feels solid enough to lift without collapsing, it's ready to flip, and barely any color. Uh-oh. I expected this. Yes. The first pancake is always ugly. Cook it for 4 more minutes on the other side, flip it, and done. Same way on the other side too. I guess the pan isn't hot enough yet. That's okay. The Messiah shall accept the ugly pancakes as sacrifice. The Messiah shall make that sacrifice. As would I. Now to make the rest. Don't forget to add more butter between each pancake. I'll crank the heat up a notch to 4 this time. Maybe this will help it brown better. I don't want to turn it up too high, because it might burn. Nothing sadder than a burned pancake. Every stove is different though, so these definitely aren't hard numbers. Oh, this pancake turned out much nicer. But the pan is too hot now, so if I add more butter now, it'll explode. Scary.
Because butter is an emulsion of fat and water, both of which do not mix with each other. The explosions are caused by the water rapidly turning into steam under high temperatures.
Yep, that's why you don't put out a grease fire with water. I'll lower the heat back to 3 for now. Guess we can just adjust the temperature as we cook the rest. And done. What do you think of all this? I know fire is dangerous, but I like looking at it. Niko, you're an anarchist at heart. I love you for that. I know. Did you know you can start a fire with just sunlight and a magnifying glass? Are you the kind of kid that burned ants with a magnifying glass in the schoolyard? Really? Yep. But don't try it on your own, okay? Of course not. But for some reason, all of a sudden, I wish I still had the sun.
I'm surrounded by lunatics.
Get me out of here. Wait. So she doesn't have the sun, meaning it's up in the tower. So either this is either she has a photographic memory and this is after returning the sun ending and she's fine. Which, if this is what happens after she returns the sun, maybe I wouldn't be shattering it to send her back home. Like, you know, this is about as happy as it can get, given the choice. But again, I don't know if this is canon or not. Like, this could just be a one-off, like, you know, celebration thing. And honestly, it's so fascinating to me how the world building in this game is done so well. I mean, the way the devs can just claw their way into your heart, just reach all the way in there, and rip it out. Twice in 8 hours, which is like how long it took me to do the base game, the Solstice ending, 8 hours. It's just fascinating, like it's worthy of study. And like, yes, I was unreasonably attached to Niko before I ever came into this game, but given the fact I actually did hesitate at that final choice at all, really does show you how good they are at what they do. And they being, you know, the devs. And also, like, just going back to the world building, all the, like, the mysteries and the setups, like, these little hints here and there. Like, you know, obviously the biggest, you know, most obvious one is taming. Like, you know, that's a whole thing. Throughout the first game, like, you know, first area, you know, the Barrens, the Glen, the Refuge, you're hearing about taming. What the fuck is taming? Nobody will explain. What is taming? Nobody can explain what it is. Leading up to the emotional climax of Solstice, it's only explained just a few minutes before. It's like the Chekhov's gun or something. I don't know exactly what trope to call this, but it's very, very well executed. But also, like, I've watched 2 other YouTubers, their playthroughs of the game, Markiplier, and like back in the first episode, I was saying how I was watching Markiplier's playthrough of OneShot, and I only got to like 5 minutes into the first episode, and then I stopped watching to not spoil myself any further. But yeah, I went back after finishing Solstice and watched his playthrough of the game, and like just seeing all these little hints, those little pieces of like things that are answered, that are set up so early on. Like, you know, you see it and it's like that meme of like, oh, whoop, that thing right there. It's just, It's like Pantheon. It's this TV show called Pantheon. Really, really fucking good. You gotta go watch Pantheon, man. And it's like that. We're just like, you restart the show, you're showing it to a friend or something, and the whole time it's like, oh my god, it makes so much sense now. And it's like all these little things that are like neuron activation. It's so so good. It's so good. Okay, I probably should get back to the pancakes. We shouldn't let the batter sit too long. Are we just about ready to put everything together? Yep. Let me do it. I will not let you down. Okay. So we stack the pancakes and add a square of butter to it, like this. And then... Where's the syrup? It's over here, on the stove. Back in the danger zone. It was starting to congeal, so I'm warming it back up. Caramel syrups tend to solidify after a while. Especially in our case, since it's not a true caramel. So it'll get gritty as it cools. Nothing a few minutes on the stove can't fix though. But you have to stir it the entire time or it might burn. Yuck. Okay. Then we pour the warm, not burnt syrup over the top and sprinkle the candy hazelnuts on top of that. And done. Oh, that actually does look pretty good. Ooh. It's got me craving some hazelnut pancakes. Might have to I already put a reminder in my phone. What? Okay, is that I recognize this from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the stats, the balance of the stats. Oh, that's great. All maxed out on love, not a whole lot of protein, bunch of brown sugar. Friendship is super high as well, not too many fats. Oh, I love that. That's a neat detail. But like I was saying, I've already got a reminder set in my phone, next year, October 4th, which is when I finished Solstice, when I finished that ending. It's the anniversary of me finishing the game, so I might try to make these hazelnut pancakes on that yearly anniversary. That'd be cool. Oh my god, it's the Niko plush. A+, just A+, S tier game. Better than any modern, AAA games. $100 million, $1 billion budgets. Better than GTA 6. Give me a full series and an anime right now. Now, normally I would eat the whole thing myself, but you guys worked so hard on this too. So we should all share.
I cannot eat.
Oh yeah, robots do not have mouths. Oh, right. Oh well, more for me. I'll just eat the extra pancakes that didn't fit the stack. But that's the sad one. I thought you already ate the sad one, Niko. Sad, lonely, undecorated. Never mind. Oh, that actually does look super good. They added little sparkles in. Professional at work over here. Stand out of my way. You want to eat the rest of these at a table? Yeah. Alright, let's take a break from the kitchen. Can I take these? The fruit of our labor, the pancakes of our labor, Niko. It's not actually fruit. Yes, thank you. Proto, what do you think of that?
I'm still here for some reason.
Aren't we all? What the? Alula? Homeless guy? What are you doing here? Oh no. Oh, I completely forgot we were open early today. How long have you guys been standing here? About 55 minutes and 7 seconds. Oh, I just got here. Hi, Niko. Aw, hi, Alula. Alula's gotta be my second favorite character in the game. Hi, Lamplighter Man. I have a name. What you guys doing back in the kitchen? I was teaching Ling how to make pancakes. Wait, his name is Ling? Interesting, Ling. Alright. But doesn't Ling already know how to make pancakes? Not these special ones that my mama makes. And thank you for sharing that with me. I learned a lot today. So the master has become the student. Mostly about molecules, but I can see why you like these so much now. It's a very involved recipe. Almost more like a cake than a pancake. What? That's so cool. Me next, me next, me next. I get to go next. Oh, you want to learn how to make these pancakes too? You might be a little too young. Even an older kid like Niko was still scared of some parts. Hey, I wasn't scared. It's just self-defense. Like Kung Fu? Huh? Were you karate chopping all the pots and pans because you were scared? What? No. Because I would. Do you mean like self-preservation? Yeah, that. I don't know that word. I just don't want to be near a hot stove, okay? Especially not around sugar lava. Exactly. Niko was just being responsible over here. Can you eat the lava? Absolutely do not eat the lava. Look, all I'm saying is Big Rock does not want you to eat the lava, okay? It's exactly like syrup, okay? If you go in there, you take out a handful. So good, okay? I've done it. Okay, for legal reasons, that's a joke. Don't actually eat lava. You will die. And the responsible thing for me to do is not let Alula anywhere near that stove. We'll teach you how to make these pancakes when you're a little older, okay? No, I want to teach you how to make my favorite food. It does not have lava, though. Oh. In that case, sure. Yay! I guess it's open house day in the kitchen. Huh? Oh, they're following me. Can I talk to them? No. God, imagine like a remake of Snake, but with like all the characters in the game. Like, you know, you eat the apple and it adds another character. That'd be a fun that'd be a fun mod. We got a lot of people in here now. Let's see. Do you got any bread? Is Alula like just gonna eat bread? Cool. But it's pre-sliced, not like the loaves you guys normally have. That's even better. Now we don't have to cut it. Okay. You gotta cook the bread on a pan over hot coals. We have a toaster. That's even better. Now get some yogurt and mix in some salt and seasons. Seasons? Like spring and summer? Of course not, silly. Winter it is. That's not what I meant, and you know it. I'm assuming you want sea moss salt. We got a shipment from the Glen a while ago. We also have garlic salt, which tastes similar, but a lot stronger. Give me the garlics. I don't get this much back home. Okay, mix the salt with the yogurt, and then just spread this on the bread with a spoon. Then I like to rip up some fish into little pieces and put it on top. Smoked fish, not alive. Okay, good. You got any? We have smoked salmon. Will that work? My favorite. Then I like to put some seeds on top of the fish to make it crunchy. Will these artisanal toasted sesame seeds work? Yeah, I'll take it. That's Alula's favorite food right there. Doesn't look as good as the pancakes. And also, I do not like seafood. Bird seed 0, sesame seed inferior. That's great. That's pretty great. So, oh, you want to make something too? I was actually just going to order my regular jug of coffee, but breakfast won't hurt. Look at you. Eating. Food. Cover your eyes, kids. Well, your parents might get mad. Step 1, toast a slice of bread. Step 2, cover it with butter, room temperature. Step 3, sprinkle on instant coffee and sugar for taste. done. Okay, that does not taste okay, bro. Maxed out on the caffeine. It's barely even good for grown-ups. Definitely not good for children. That is that's basically just like an energy drink on a piece of toast. For lunch, I normally mix the instant coffee into some 3-minute noodles. The cup kind. Don't need to add the sugar. Or, if I'm really in a rush, I just put a scoop of coffee into the bag of uncooked. I think you should leave the kitchen. Yeah, that's fair. I should probably start the coffee machines. Do you want any, Niko? No thanks. Coffee is for grown-ups. I've heard it's really bitter. Only if you drink it black. You might like it in a decaf hazelnut cappuccino or a mocha latte, though. I only understood one of those words. I like it black. You what? You drink coffee? That was so much fun. Too bad we didn't get to karate chop any of the pans, though. Please don't do that. Is that a birthday cake? Light the candle? Yes. Blow out the candle. Originally leave that lit. Oh shit, everybody's here? Oh my god. You know, seeing everyone here, I really think that I understand where and when this little anniversary, whatever one-shot game this is taking place. But to explain that to you, I'm going to need a minute to explain like a little theory of mine. Okay, so the world of one-shot, everything we see, okay, the game we play, is all just, a simulation, obviously a game. And that's pretty obvious, right? You understand that? Good. Well, what's told to us in the Solstice route, though, is that everything we see is just a memory of the old world, the world that the author comes from. The author being the one that made the game of one-shot. And, that old world had basically, the same situation as this one. There's an apocalypse coming, people trying to save the world, all that stuff. The author was one of those people. And he had the wonderful idea to, for some reason, create a game to tell the story of their world. And, there was the whole thing with complications, the world machine becoming sentient, messing up the code, Solstice ending, all that stuff that we all, saw in the games. But the thing is, the author's original vision, the whole reason he made the world that we see, the world we play in, is not to be a simulation to, keep the world spinning, essentially. That was not his intent. His intent was to tell the story of his world, show the people that were in it, so that we, as the player, and I guess we, including Niko, could make up new stories for their inhabitants. You may not be able to make an entire complex simulation of the entire world, but if you can tell a story, and you can get that story and that memory out there, and other people will pick up that story and keep it going from there, that's kind of the same thing if you really think about it. It's like, the golden record on Voyager 2, it's just a memory, just a time capsule. It's just trying to get like, hey, we existed. But, what the author never saw happening was the world machine being tamed. His code was only supposed to go so far as the ending of, the original game, but happier before it got corrupted. But with the world machine being tamed, now it can make up its own code. And it can make up its own stories too. And I think that's what's happening here in this, Pancake episode, is the world machine is making all of this up because it can. Because now it's not limited by its code anymore. It's been tamed. And I just think that's really fucking cool. And it also opens up, this whole host of ideas for mods and spin-offs. And I don't think that, devs are going to ever come back to the game or whatever, but, expansions, stuff like that. And it could technically be canon if they just said, hey, the world machine is making this up. But yeah, I just think that's really cool. Anyways, let's get back to the game. Alula, have you been here this whole time? Don't go running off like that. Sheesh. Oh, sorry, I got hungry. Foraging food is so easy in the city, though. The nice guy at the cafe feeds me for free, because I'm very cute, and also a baby. Can't argue with that. And he gives this guy here free food because he doesn't take care of himself despite being a grown-up, and his house is probably really messy. Hey, just saying. Whoa, hey, what's with all the decorations? Is it somebody's birthday? Did you just notice? I guess you could call it a birthday. It's the 10-year anniversary. Anniversary of what? Someone's wedding, or... I don't think anybody here is married. It's the anniversary of the original... Oh, right, you weren't around for that. That's okay, neither was I. I was, I think. But our anniversaries but grim reminders that we're inching yet another year closer to our inevitable demise. I wasn't around either. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I'm just here for emotional support. Thanks. Yeah, a lot of us got here pretty late, didn't we? Especially me. Yeah, you really lost me there. Though it was 10 years ago. You think I can remember that far back? He does not. But I'm not going to pass up an excuse to party. Hey. Anyway, where's all the booze? What a crowd. I'll say. Looks like I got a lot of cooking to do now, huh? Oh, I'll help. We can make... more pancakes. Pancakes? Pancakes. Count me in. You know I'm always up for some breakfast for dinner. George, it's 8 in the morning. We're having breakfast for breakfast. Let me guess, you pulled another all-nighter on those manuscripts again. You know it, babe. Breakfast for dinner for breakfast. For lunch. Because we already ate. Pancakes, huh? That makes me nostalgic. We haven't seen them in a while, have we? Yeah. What are you two whispering about? Just reminiscing. Niko. Huh? These must be important to you. Of course. This is my mama's special recipe. They're my favorite thing to eat ever. Ah, how wonderful.
You don't want to know how long these took to make, though. I was there.
But the time is not wasted if you spend it on something you love. Hey, that's true. These pancakes turned out to be really good because we spent a lot of time on them. Sick. They won't make you sick unless you eat 100 of them.
5,500 grams.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Eating 100 pancakes? If they're as good as you say, we just might. Collectively. I can't eat 100 pancakes by myself. Hey, that's queer talk. Speaking of whom, Lamp Man. I have a name. You're not gonna bail on us again, are you? I was just gonna go back to work, but I guess everyone is saying, so it'd be super awkward if I left now. Yeah, sure, I'll stay. I could go for a second breakfast. I am a growing baby bird and my body demands nutrients. Nutrients? But it's mostly sugar. It's a party, who cares? Sugar is a nutrient, technically. That means we get to eat as much as we want. Ah, that's the spirit. Spirit? There are no spirits here. I'm talking about booze. Magpie, we just said it's like 8 in the morning. What? I'm not getting much, just a shot. Just one. One shot. I don't think this is the right kind of establishment for booze. One shot. Kip's right. We just have breakfast foods here mostly. just like the hundreds of pancakes coming up, or however many orders we get. Let's not keep everyone waiting. Alright, I'll go back to work then. See you in a bit. Hey, I just said I want to help. Don't start without me. OneShot. Well, I guess that's it then. I came, I saw, I made delicious pancakes, some kind of a sandwich, an offense to chefs and breakfast everywhere, and I left. I am kind of disappointed though that I didn't get to actually say anything to Niko or anyone else in the game. Apparently my role as the God Almighty has been reduced to being a glorified cameraman. Overall, though, I did enjoy playing that, Feels like a very satisfying place to leave the one-shot universe, with everybody getting their happy ending. As a side note, do be sure to let me know if there are any fan-made games, spin-offs, mods, whatever, etc. that you'd like to see me play, and I'll go check them out, because I am terminally addicted to this little cat. For now, though, I've got to go work on my next video, which is actually about a somewhat similar game. And so to Niko, Alula, and the rest of the world of OneShot, but mostly Niko, thank you for the laughter and for the tears. Goodbye.
And I don't even care that it's over. And I don't even care there's a wall. Now whatever look back in anger. Whatever look back and out. It's coming to a close. To a close. It's coming to a close. It's coming to a